अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चाक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नामश्रेष्ठं मनुमाति सच्चिपुत्रम् आत्रस्वरूपं रूपं तस्य ग्रजमुरुपुरीं माथुरीं गोष्ठावतीं राधाकुन्दं गिरिवरं महो राधिकमाधावसं प्राप्तो यस्य प्रतितकृपाया श्रीगुरुं तं नतस्मै। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। निखिलाश्रुतिमौले रत्नमालद्युति निराजिता पदपङ्कजन्ता आजीमुक्तकुलैरुपश्यामनं परितस्त्वं हरिणां संश्रयामि। अनार्पितचरिं चिरत् करुणयावतीर्णा खलु समार्पयितुमुन्नतोज्ज्वलरासं स्वभक्तिश्रियम् हरिपुरता सुन्दरा द्युतिकदम्ब सन्दीपितः सदा हृदये खन्दरे स्फुरतो वासचिनन्दनः। अजानुलम्बिता भुजो कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायतक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्वियावरो जुगद्धर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो लादिनी शक्तिस्वरूपाय गौराङ्गसुहृदाय च भक्तशक्तिप्रदानाय गदाधर नमोस्तुते। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निजपादब्जादस्यान्मह्यं प्रदीयताम्। भक्त्या विहीनाय अपराधलक्षये क्षिप्तश्चाकमादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। श्रीला गुरुदेव की जय, श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री श्री दाऊजी गोपाल जी की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री वेणुगीता की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, गौर प्रमानंद। हरे हरे हरि ओम। So welcome to all of you, Dandavad Pranam, and we are continuing with our series of lectures on the Song of the Flute, Sri Venu-gita. Today we are in our 9th meeting, where we will be studying verse number 8 of the Venu-gita, and second of the official beginning of Venu-gita that began last class. So we will make a brief recap of what we saw some days ago, where we studied verse number 7. One says the first verse of the Venu-gita, the first verse where the gopis officially are pronouncing their song. So a very nice verse, a very well-known one. Akshambantam palamidam naparam vidamam, and so on. So basically the gopis, they are saying, oh friends, speaking to one another, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the songs of Nanda Maharaj are really fortunate, certainly fortunate. And then they describe again, repeat that scene that they are visualizing in Samadhi. They are entering the forest surrounded by their friends with the cows in front of them, holding their fruit to their mouths and glancing lovingly to the inhabitants of Raj. So, and they conclude, for those who have eyes, there's no higher perfection apart from this one. This is the ultimate object of vision, the ultimate purpose for the creator to have designed what we call eyes, basically. So we mentioned that these different verses that will constitute the Venu-gita, according to some acharyas, are sung by different gopis. According to some acharyas, are sung by all the gopis at the same time in unison. And according to some acharyas, are sung different groups of verses by different groups of gopis. So we will find some diversity of opinion there, as usual. It's a good way of conceiving different possibilities in such a realm. So in this verse, as we already mentioned, the gopis are including Sri Baladev Prabhu in the equation, not so much because they are romantically attracted towards Balaram, and not, at least not these gopis in particular. We know that there are some gopis that will express that type of, as Guru Maharaj will say, they have a crush on him, right? But in this particular case, the gopis who are singing these verses, according to our acharyas, are all of them one-pointedly attracted towards Krishna. So why they are including Baladev here? Well, as a way of concealing their inner mood. Again, we have to bear always in mind the mood of the people who is speaking. Gopis, Parakya Bhav, the tendency of being a gopi and being in Parakya Bhav is to hide, Abhahita Bhav, to conceal their bhav, because it's clandestine, it's forbidden according to the social dynamics of the lila. So they will use paroksha bhat, indirect speech, and including Baladev Prabhu, who is their elder brother, in whose presence nothing illegal can happen, basically. So the gopis invoke him to guarantee whatever we are saying is in the legal parameters of Braj and social dynamics and so on. But again, it's a way of taking, if someone else is hearing them, they cannot say anything, because they are glorifying Krishna Balaram. Who does not glorify Krishna Balaram in the whole Braj? Everyone will agree with what the gopis are saying here. In a general meaning, in a general level, this verse can be applicable to every inhabitant of Vrindavan. Everyone will say, yes, Krishna Balaram are the perfect objects for vision. Very nice gopis, very nice song. But actually the gopis have another idea in mind. Again, Balaram is serving somehow by being invoked in this verse, is facilitating the gopis' expression of Parakya, as in some other cases, as we know, how Baladev indirectly is nonetheless assisting Sri Krishna in his Madhurya section, department, if you will. So there was one general meaning. Another more specific meaning, as we mentioned, will be like a gopi like Radha or some other gopi who have direct connection with Krishna, Sambhogechamai, will express invoking Baladev, but pointing to Krishna and centering on his face and his lotus lips and so on. So some gopi from that group may express that verse. Some gopi who has aspired for direct connection with Sri Hari. And we also shared that the verse could have another layer of meaning applicable to the Manjaris, who are Sri Radha's maidservants, who do not hanker for direct union with Krishna, but hanker for direct union between Krishna and their Swamini, their Ishwari, Sri Radha. So they will, we explain how the term Brajesa Sutayo, which generally means the sons of the kings of Braj, can be applicable to Radha and Krishna, because there are two kings in Braj, Vrishabhanu Raj, Nanda Maharaj. So their sons is one son, one daughter. We explain how the Sanskrit lends itself to that. And the Pashun, the animals that are there, are the animals that they are drawing into each other's faces and so on. The friends that are accompanying have to do with the Manjaris, it could be the Priyanarma Sakas, friends of the same age, Vayasya. And we concluded saying, but how do we explain that it is say they are playing their flutes? how we shared this lila where Sri Radha starts to compete with Krishna playing flute, and Krishna tries to play better, and Radha tries to play better. And at one point, the two of them are playing and playing and playing till Sri Radha gets the final prize, and Krishna's flute is who knows where, but his fingers keep moving and he's whistling, thinking he's playing, but he's totally mesmerized by what's coming from Radha's lips, from Radha's sound. Some other day we will speak also how Radha defeats Krishna musically with her Veena also. That's another department, or with her ankle bells. There are different ways in which the acharyas always establish the superiority in that transcendental sense of Sri Radha, even in connection to such a glorious thing as the flute. But well, some ideas regarding what we saw last class. So today we will go to verse number 8. I think you have the verse with you. So again, Krishna and Balaram will be invoked in this verse by the gopis, again with some similar purpose in mind, trying to have the Maryad Purush, the person who looks after for Krishna's proper decorum behavior in his life, Baladev Prabhu, as a way of distracting the attention of the masses so the gopis can direct their actual bhava towards Krishna. So again, there will be described the two of them and how splendidly they appear amongst the sakhas, among the gopas. We see this is a very similar stage over and over again. Krishna and Balaram, forest, cows, sakhas, because it's that particular moment that they are Purban Lila, Gocharana Lila, that the gopis are visualizing in samadhi, in trance. So let's go with the Sanskrit first. All of us, we can go. Remember, the meter is always the same. Basant Tilak. Where is the flute, Murli? For the next one, please. Chuta Pravala Barhastavaka Kutpalabja Mala Nuprikta Paridhana Vichitra Vesha Madhe Vire Jaturalam Pashupala Goshtyam Range Yatha Nathavaro Kvachagaya Mano. So you may recognize some words from previous verses like Pasu or Natavaro and so on. But let's go with the translation first. It says like this. Dressed in a charming variety of garments upon which their garlands rest, and decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flower buds, Krishna and Balaram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. So again, every word has very deep meaning. It's not just sometimes they sing. Oh yes, sometimes they sing, and sometimes they don't sing. We should be careful always to never take the verses of the Bhagavatam as what they appear to be, lit directly only. Oh yes, sometimes they sing. I also sometimes sing. It's not only that. We will see. And with every section of the verses there imply, again, especially the gopis speaking. Gopis again is indirect speech, which means it's not what it seems to be. It's what it seems to be on some level, but it's more and more and more. So this, again, like the previous verse, are very nice mantras that, again, someone with an affinity towards Madhurya Bhav can involve. We're offering pranam to Bal Krishna, but also someone with affinity towards Sakya Bhav can also use them in their own mood, in their own affinity, because very clearly they are offering pranam to both also. That can be understood according to the particular bhava of each devotee. So that's the magic of these verses also. It's not like, oh, this is only can be recited for the people of this group. You cannot, sorry. No. It lends itself to the bhava of each particular group, and they are very, very specific, like, again, mantra maya upasana, very nice depictions, like still pictures of these eternal moments of the lila. So they serve as deep meditation. So let's go in the word by word, so we can also learn some new Sanskrit terms today. So the first line says Chitra Pravala Baraha Stavakut Palabja. So first comes a list of of the different ornaments that are accompanying Krishna Balaram. Particular description in this verse, some of them repeated. So Chutta Pravala to begin with. Chutta Pravala means like young sprouts from a mango tree. No? The sprouts, just first blossoms of the mango tree, they are using them for decoration. We will see that first they begin by the head section and gradually it goes up to down. So Chutta Pravala, Baraha. What does it mean, Baraha?
Peacock.
Yeah. Peacock feather also, of course, in this case, no? But yeah, it could mean peacock as well. So Baraha again refers to peacock feather. So young buds of mango trees, peacock feather, then have stavaka. No? Here you have sandhi, which in Sanskrit means like more than one word are all put together, but separate, they are different words. So first stavaka, which means clusters of flowers, different flowers. Apart from the garland, here we are in the head section. So each part is, again, it's a whole meditation actually. You know, you can, I mean, there are many stories like that. No, like for example, one disciple went to his guru and he was meditating in the decoration. In this case of Srimati Radharani, he was assisting in deep meditation in his meditational spiritual conceived body, and he was like decorating the feet of Sri Radha. And he was like a good time doing that. So like when he realized, like maybe, I don't know, 7 hours passed. So he was supposed to do the whole shringa, the whole decoration, but he just started with the feet and lost and found there. No? So he was kind of like dejected, like discouraged. And his guru said, why do you have that face today? I said, because I was not able to complete my seva. I failed. Why? He said, why? Because while I was meditating in decorating the lotus feet of our Swamini, he said to his guru, I became so captured in that scene, in all the details and all that could be offered in that particular spot, infinite possibilities. I became so enchanted, but all that came from that, the whole day passed and I was not able to do anything else. No. So his guru started to cry, no? And say, oh, you failure in your service. No, your service has reached success finally. No? That's the type of symptoms that you have reached the goal. So the same can apply, of course, in this type of description. You are decorating the head. There's so many things. It's a whole universe, a whole portal of service for eternal possibilities, eternal. It's not like, oh yeah, let's put the turban and put the peacock feather, something. Let's go to the. Eventually, as we mature in our service, we will start to realize, I mean, every single spot is fully alive here. Every single ingredient of paraphernalia of service, all is alive and all is dynamic and all is infinite. So I can just be doing this for eternity, and that's why we hear sometimes, you know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is preparing camphor for offering camphor lamps forever. Of course, it's not that he does not do anything else, but that's his main service for eternity. And we may feel like, oh, no. What if I ask you, can you prepare camphor lamp? Yeah, no problem. 8 hours just today. 8 hours. 8 hours. Okay. And then the next day you are like, okay, today some rest or whatever, puja. Camphor lamp again? What do you think? 8 hours. No, 10 maybe actually. We need a little bit more camphor today. And next day, 16 hours camphor lamp. No. By the 4th day, I mean, you burn yourself in a camphor pile. You enter there and but as much as we start to really get a taste for seva and understand the nature of possibilities in that realm, I mean, there are no obstacles, because the obstacles are in our own mind, basically. So going back, cluster of flowers, stavaka. Then utpala. Utpala means like water lilies, another type of specific flowers. And abja, all in one word, as you can see in the verse. Abja means lotuses. In this case, referring to they call land lotuses, specific flowers. So again, the flowers describe a very specific, so it serves for this type of meditation, visualization. Water lilies, lotuses, cluster of flowers, peacock feather, young sprouts of mango tree, and then mala, second line. Mala means Another word we already saw, by Jayanti Malam, garland. So there's a garland apart from all the things happening as head and ears, as we will say. Then anuprikta. Anuprikta means touched. And paridhana means their garments. So their garments are being touched, if you will. In this case, refer mostly with to the garland, but of course, all the other ornaments are there. Vichitra vesho, then. Vichitra vesho, very nice expression. We will see. Vesho means like dress, like being dressed. And vichitra, many things, but one of them is with great variety. So they're dressed in great variety. The outfits have different colors and they're very detailed. It's not just one piece of cloth like this one, but they are ornamented in very like that one, with different details and ornaments and so on. So Vichitra Vesha. Then the third line says Madhye Virejaturalam Pashupala Goshyam. So Madhye means in the midst, like Madhya, in the middle, in the midst. Madhye Virejatur. Virejatur means it's a plural, so refers to the two of them. It's dual to Krishna and Balaram. And in Sanskrit, interestingly, you have your singular, you have plural, and you have dual. You don't have that in other, we use in English singular and plural, but they have dual that only refers to two. So this is applicable here. So the two of them were resplendent in a special way. Again, this verse is not saying Krishna Balaram in any moment, but again, implied meaning. And connected to the previous verse, what they were mentioned, the sons of the kings of Braj, which can be, again, on one level applicable to Krishna Balaram, as we mentioned. So they were resplendent in a special way. So every day is special, but today seemed especially special. Alam. Alam, to further add to the whole equation, means exceedingly. If the special is not enough, exceedingly nicely decorated, attractive. Pashupala Goshyam. Pashupala means what? What's Pashu? Animals. Yes, in this case, more applicable to the cows, but Pala means? So the protectors of animals are the word of saying cowherd boys, basically. And Goshyam, what does it mean, Goshyam? Gosti. It's a Gosti. Goshyam. Yeah, like assembly, like group. So with the assembly of gopas, basically. And last line, Rangi Jata Natabaru Kwacha Gayamanu. So Rangi means stage, in this case, on a stage. Yata means just as, like, just like. And Natabara, that one we also saw already. You remember? Natabara, Bapu Kanayu Karnai Karam. I won't say it.
Excellent dancer.
Topmost dancer. Because excellent is almost German. The excellent of excellent, yeah. So Natabara, the two most excellent dancers. Natabaro. Baro is, again, not referring to only one. And Kwacha Gayamano. So they resemble like the two best dancers on stage. And Kwachamano. Kwacha means sometimes. And Gayamano means they while singing. Gayanti has to do with singing. Gaya. Gayatri. Gaya means song. So we see how the roots of the words go in different directions. So Gayamano means while singing. So indicates like present. How does it in English? Present continuous verbs. I don't know. You know better than me. Indicating something is going in that precise way. So sometimes they sing. So let's try to unfold a little bit the verse. So again, as we mentioned, the gopis till now have not been able to, they have been able to conceal their song, if you will. They are singing, but somehow or other they have been able, still the pressure cooker that we mentioned, it's still, the whistles are coming, but the very first, like small, still in very indirect way, in the sense that they are not overtly declaring what's going on in their hearts clearly. Like, for example, we will see next verse. Well, the name of Krishna appears directly for the first time, Damodar. Till now, it's just like the songs of the kings of Raj and indirect speech, Abhahita Bhav. So again, they are trying to conceal their bhav. That's the nature. Gopi, Gupta, trying to hide, shyness, Laja. But again, in this verse connecting to the previous one, they invoke the presence of Krishna, Balaram, and start to continue describing their beautiful attributes. I found one very nice in this connection that I wanted to share and to read quickly. There's one very nice pranam mantra, very similar to this one, from quoted in Sri Priya Bhakti Rasarnava. Very nice book for those with affinity towards friendship, friendly mood towards Krishna. Priya Bhakti Rasarnava by Nayanananda Thakur. And there's one Sanskrit verse there from unknown authorship, basically, but it's very similar, very nice. So I will read it quickly if someone would like. They are very nice, like pranam mantras through which one can meditate on Krishna, Balaram, and offer pranam to them, and so on. So he says, Jaladhara Sasi Varna Gopavisha Kishoro Sahachara Gana Brindai Kridaman Brajeso Natavara Jita Veshanila Pitambara Dhyo Jagata Janana Hetu Rama Krishna Natasmi. So I won't go word by word again, that will be too much. So I just repeat the translation as it appears in Priya Bhakti Rasarnava's English edition. And remember, it will be in the way of that the name of the main characters appears just in the last part of the verse. No? Here they are doing like that, because in the original, as you heard, it says Ramakrishna Natasmi, end of the verse. But at the end, just say Ramakrishna. So it will begin the translation. In this case, they translate in this way. Only you will hear who the verse is about at the end. The pair of complexions like a rain cloud and the moon, the pair dressed as cowherds, the pair of youths, the pair engaged in sporting with the assembly of their friends, the pair who are lords of Raj, the pair whose dress eclipses that of the best of dancers, the pair fond of wearing blue and yellow garments, but this time you get the riddle already who they're speaking about. Maybe the pair who are the source of all living entities in the universe. I bow to that pair known as Ramakrishna. Shri Ram Govinda Ji ki jai. So again, similar pranam mantras who describe the defining, as we mentioned, attributes of this yugal, this second divine couple of Braj for those in Sakya Bhav. So let's share some of the words that our great Acharyas commentators have revealed in connection to this verse. Let me begin with Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, who always typically very nicely inserts some in between situations inside the verse, some background history to why this verse is being spoken. So he will present the conversation among two gopis. So first gopi will say, according to Sri Vishwanath, which again, all of this, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Thakur, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, they are there, basically. They are manjaris in their Siddha Swarup. So they are being part of those leelas themselves. So that's how naturally they can tell you. Because you can say, but how do you know that this gopi is saying this and this say that, and that's why this verse is being spoken? Where that came from? Of course, they are humble. They won't say, well, I'm there. I was there. I heard the whole thing and I'm just sharing. I may be one of the participants who are speaking there. But basically, that's the conception that we have. No? Vishwanath Chakravarti, Thakur, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, all of them are eternal participants in this type of exchanges. So very fortunate to receive such information. Try to imagine, information which invokes deep transformation. So Vishwanath visualizes, if you will, or sees just next to him, and he sees that sort of one gopi saying to another. One gopi saying, well, because Krishna is with Baladev, our motive is going will not be fulfilled. Remember that in the previous verse, he gave this background that one gopi said to other, let's go, let's join them, let's join the flute, let's run after that. Like they were given like support to each other, like let's follow the clarion call. Sarvadharmam parityajam amekam saranam. So in continuation with that, in this next verse, one gopi will say, but Krishna is with Balaram. Again, remember, he's the elder brother. He represents a form of Vatsalya in that sense. And in that sense, Vatsalya is enemy with Madhurya. In that sense, try to understand the presence of a Vatsalya figure inhibits the expression of Madhurya. It makes it shrink, you say? Shrink. So in that sense, one gopi says, Krishna is with Baladev. So our motive in going will not be fulfilled. Imagine all the gopis running after Krishna and Balaram is there. Like, what's going on here? So the second gopi replied to this proposal, oh, foolish one, don't worry. Krishna will look at us and his eyebrows will beg for our love. At that time, our regard for public opinion, self-control, and all other restrictions will disappear. Come on, Saki, let us go see him at once. Then we will just see what happens. No? Like no consequences, no filter. Like let's just go and let's see what happens. Again, on the basis of Prem, we may think in those same terms on this platform. Oh, let's just follow what we feel and see what happens. And generally, that's a disaster. However, it ends. No. Let's follow my intuition and let's do what I feel. And generally, it's what my mind is dictating and my material samskars are controlling in this. I will just follow the flow. Okay. How much control is your mind? Which is the flow that is taking you? But in this case, the flow is Prem. The current, the dhara is Prem. So they can say this. So basically they're saying, yeah, it's Balaram, but Balaram is there, but just let's go and let's see what happens. Of course, we know that never happens actually in that way. No? You never hear that Krishna is with Balaram and the gopis just ran after Krishna. Oh, Baladev, no. But this is depicting their disposition. I mean, they are ready for risking it all. And not only in regards to Baladev, every single day is one risk after another. Jatila, Kutila, all the elders, all society, all Vrindavan, trying to meet Krishna. In the dead of the night, which is not so risky, is still quite risky. Also from other sides, entering into the jungle, wild animals, serpents, and so many things, and gopis just. But then eventually in the unfolding of the Lila, meeting Krishna, the midday, all the branches are woken, all the dynamics of the day everyone is there, and somehow they have to be successful every single day for eternity. And it works. Dugamaya is always making arrangements there. So this second gopi say, just let's go and see what happens. So the first Saki again, which is a little bit more like hesitant, say, oh no, that is not possible. I can never go in front of him when Dauji is there. So this shows the psychology of the Lila, if we will. And not only that, Saki, our husbands, fathers-in-law, and other relatives will stop us. And the village elders will throw sarcastic and caustic comments at us. So those are all the daily filters, if you will. I feel it is not proper for us to go. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, on hearing this, the second Saki composes this verse in order to convince her friend to go with her. So that's like the background Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving. Why this verse? Of course, there are different ways of approaching, but this is one of them. So she's tempting her like by describing more in further detail than the previous verse. Krishna, Balaram and Krishna, but mostly Krishna again. The details of that. Again, the beauty of each one of their ornaments are described in detail. There are mainly, Jiva Goswami mentioned there are 6 ornaments described in this verse. And again, as we mentioned, they come from top of the head towards lower parts of the body. So the first one was, do you remember? For those who took notes, the mango buds, soft mango bud, new mango buds on the head. All this is the turban region, if you will. New mango buds. Then second, peacock feather. What?
A peacock.
Yeah, that's the second one. Also, we know where the peacock feather is. And third, clusters of flowers. These three were on the top of the head, Jiva Goswami says, of Krishna. On the turban, in the head, different decoration with mango buds, peacock feathers, and different flowers, clusters of flowers. So then from head we go to Karnayo, the ears. Then it's described water lily. Jiva Goswami said water lily was on both ears. One water lily here, another water lily here. In this case, he has one in each ear. We hear different descriptions of this. And then from the ears, we go to the hands. He has, which is the fifth one, a lotus. But this is a play lotus. Maybe you have heard that many times the expression is in Shastra. Krishna or Radha, sometimes they have a play lotus in one of their hands. And they have the lotus and they are like, how to say, twirling? Twirling. Twirling in the right hand, in this case, it is described. Twirling, like walking, and like it's sometimes described as a sign of aristocracy. And Krishna is a prince, so he's the son of the king of Raj. So he's walking with the lotus and twirling it and smelling here and there, and like someone very aristocratic. Okay. So again, for the gopis, each one of these details is like total absorption. I mean, they can remain meditating on each one of details forever. It's not that what else, but they can just get stuck on, okay, another. So, and finally to say that all those ingredients, head, ears, and hand, combine in a very incredible way with the garland, which extended along the whole, from the neck to the chest, basically. Mala. Remember, that's the sixth ornament. So they came in order again: head, ears, hand, and then the whole of the chest. And in that connection, we have the quote, the phrase Vichitra Vesha. Again, Vichitra Vesha. Vesha means, remember? Vesha. Cloth. Yeah. Vesha means you get dressed. It has to do more with the verb. And Vichitra, what does it mean, Chitra? I mean, many meanings, but Chitra means color, one of the meaning. And Vichitra, B generally means, like, implies many, very. So very colorful, again. So they were dressed in a very colorful way. That's one meaning of Vichitra, that there is variety, Vichitra, in how Krishna and Balaram are decorated. It's not just red from tip to toe, or just one type of red or one type of ornament. Everything was variegated. Diversity is the spice of life.
Rainbow, maybe?
If you want, he's having a vision here. So.
In this song is Vichitra shine.
We have the word Vichitra, very nice. Yeah, yeah. Of course, not every single day is the same, but the combinations are always Vichitra. And generally, yeah, Yashoda or Rohini are at this time of their lifestyle still are being involved in the decoration. Very soon they will start, as Guru Maharaj will say, I want to dress myself. Like when the kids are growing, it's like, okay, I can dress myself, man, no problem. You don't have to choose which t-shirt I will use today. Oh, this is no, I want to use that one, the thorny one. No, this is the new one. No, the one with holes. No, it's not nice. Whatever, no. So Vichitra means can be variegated, can mean colorful, so can refer to color, can refer to variety. Or Vichitra also means like adbhut, chamatkar, like astonishing, I mean, and all of them are true. There is variety, there is color, and there is astonishment, chamatkar, which is, as the poets mentioned, that's the essence of rasa. Rasa sar chamatkar. The essence of the experience of rasa is a feeling of astonishment. In India, they have a nice play of words. Pan, you say pan? Pan, which is namaskar e chamatkar, they say. Now, that thing which includes chamatkar is worthy of namaskar. Like we offer our namaskar to chamatkar. Namaskar means offer namaste, offer pranam, dandavat, to that which is astonishing. Something astonishing is worthy of our respects, basically, of our head to the ground. So Vichitra Vesu has to do with that. The way they are dressed invokes this chamatkar. Of course, it's not that literally everyone in Braj is offering dandavats to Radha and Krishna, but it's creating this feeling of astonishment and giving oneself. Namaskar basically means namaha, and namaha means na, ma, not me, you. Self-forgetfulness in divine love. Not dysfunctional psychology, but self-forgetfulness in divine love. That's possible. First, there is self-sacrifice, and there is self-forgetfulness. That's what we see in the gopis here. They are not thinking about themselves. They are not thinking about what can happen if they just run in the midst of the day. They're forgetting about the consequences. Then what else? Kvachit madhye. Kvachit means sometimes. So we mentioned that the general meaning is kvachit gayamano. Sometimes they sing, no? Like implying that they do some other stuff also, no? And that's one level. But Sanatana Goswami connects kvachit sometimes with the word madhye. Remember that the Sanskrit, something very nice in Sanskrit is that you don't need to have the words in a particular order. In English, you need to have the words in certain order, because if not, they make no sense whatsoever. But in Sanskrit, all the words can be in any order, almost, and they still make the same meaning if you know the language. So that also lends itself for connecting one word with the other. If you put it closer, and it is qualifying the word that is next. If you put other word next, it's qualifying the other word. So that's how our commentators are drawing so many meanings from one single word, because this word can be connected with this, will mean this. The same word connected with this other will mean. So this is what Sanatana Goswami is doing. For example, here he says, Kvachit gayamano. Sometimes they sing, but kvachit madhye. He said, let's connect sometimes madhye. Madhye means they are in the middle. So sometimes Krishna and Balaram are in the middle of the Gopas mandali. Mandali means circle. Now the scene described is all the Gopas are going in circle in the forest, and Krishna and Balaram are in the midst. But Sanatana Goswami said, Kvachit. Sometimes they are in the middle. And he said, why? Why sometimes and not always? Due to absorption in play. Because if you want to play with your friends, you have to create some dynamic there. No, it's not like we are going in the middle and we are having such fun and they are surrounded. Sometimes chaos have to be invoked. Too much order, it's unbecoming in this case. So due to absorption in play, sometimes they just run out of the middle, and who knows where each of them ends. So that's how Sanatana Goswami depicts the Sakya Rasa side of this verse by the gopis, one of them. And then alam, the word alam, remember, means exceedingly. Sanatana Goswami connects, I will read it literally. What was the implication of exceedingly? He says, he's paraphrasing the gopis who are speaking here. So try to follow the idea. He says, sometimes, one gopi said, or the gopi said, near both parents, or even near us, there is no excellence of such swagger, like ostentation, swagger, ostentation and arrogance, when they sing nor dance like that, due to inhibition in that situation. In other words, Krishna and Balaram play and sing, and as we'll see, they also sometimes show like arrogance, like we are so good, such good singers and such nice dancer, and they start to compete among their friends. You are nobody. You can, I mean, hear my singing, and they start like to. But the gopis are saying when they are next to their parents, they are not doing that because there's some inhibition in Vatsalya Bhava. I mean, if their friends are, you know, friends, when they are playing among themselves, they are doing who knows what and saying who knows what. But if the parents come, it's like, oh, they're like just waiting when they leave. Okay, let's go again. So there's some inhibition, but and the gopis say even next to us, we are not witnessing that because of course now among Krishna with his friends is in certain absorption in Sakya Bhava. When the gopis are there is another form of inhibition, if you want to call it that. No? Not to the point of calling Madhurya and Sakya enemies, but there is some inhibition, of course. So the gopis are saying, oh, they are singing and dancing in such a way. The gopis are seeing that through the eye of love in the distance, remember, but that's not happening in front of their parents. That's not happening in front of us. So like somehow try to get the feeling, no? And we will see in all these sections, the gopis basically are saying, we would like so much to be there. I mean, he's having such a time all day long out in the forest with his friends, and we are stuck here at home. They are seeing all that in samadhi, but they would like to be with Krishna 24/7. You know? So, and this is the very spirit of the Gopi Gita. They will be appreciating the situation of not only the Gopas, here is the Gopas, but we'll see every single inhabitant of Raj, and they will appreciate their connection with Krishna and long for that. And feel themselves, oh, we are so unfortunate. We don't have the fortune that that devotee has, that the tree has, that the river has, that the deer has, that the cow has, that the birds. And actually they have the topmost love. But the nature of topmost love is to feel I don't have any love. And all of them have love, as Guru Maharaj will say. No, everyone has love for Krishna except for me. That's how the gopis think. In the neophyte stance, we will think nobody has love for Krishna except for me. So gradually we have to turn the equation to the other direction. In a natural way, not like forcing ourselves. Mahaprabhu was not making a show when he said, Na prema kandasti darapi. I say, me, there is not even the aroma of prem. And he was showing the highest symptoms of prem in the history of religious world. So that's the paradox of prem. The more you are advancing, the less you may feel you are moving. I remember once Thomas Merton gave that example. Thomas Merton ki jai. He say, like when you are on a plane, he say, the plane is just about to fly, and you feel the speed. Then the plane starts flying a little bit, and it starts to feel slower, but it's going quicker. And when the plane is above the clouds, going at its maximum speed, I think 1,000 kilometers per hour, you feel this is not moving. It's not moving. With the car, you can feel something like that also. If you are going like, I don't know, 100 kilometers for some minutes, it's like, so it's paradoxical because you are advancing, you are going quicker than ever, but it feels like nothing is going on. So that's how a way of we can understand why someone with the highest love will say, I don't have any prem. There's a place for that. Of course, the proper way to go through that. It's not that, okay, so there I will say, I don't have prem, so I have. No, it's not like this. Because we have these verses in Shastra. Those who say they love me, they do not love me. Those who say they don't love me, they love me. It's not, okay, so I know what I have to say now. It's not like this. So again, here, Sanatan Goswami is paraphrasing the gopis, visualizing, oh, the gopas are doing all these nice things together, and the implication is we cannot join in these moments. We have not joined Krishna any single moment yet. Remember, this is Purvarag. So try to keep the type of separation in context. The gopis have not met Krishna at all yet, not even once time to acknowledge their love. So try to imagine. I mean, they are going crazy trying to meet Krishna for the first time. That's not happening. Everyone else is meeting Krishna all day long. For them, that's not happening. So how they see the environment in that condition. Baladev Vidyabhushan describes the word alam exceedingly, saying that the gopas were exceedingly resplendent. And then he says, this is so, this was even more so than there being resplendent in the village, inasmuch as there was no such singing or dancing owing to shyness. So the same thing. Now, in the village, Krishna, Balaram, and the gopas, due to shyness, they are not dancing and singing and celebrating life as they are doing when they are in the forest. So that's a particular moment for the expression of Sakya, and without restrictions, basically. There's no elders to say, hey, calm down, what are you doing? What's the, come here, food is ready, go to bath, whatever, get a bath. They're just like, no. So they are described specifically, Krishna, Balaram, as Rangam Natavara, like the best dancers on stage. No? We can see them here now. The stage is the altar, Jogapith, like this scenario for perfection, and looking like, or like actors sometimes described, like actors on stage, or like dancers on stage. And of course, Lila is a dramatic performance, technically speaking, no? On the basis, and there's a stage, as Guru Maharaj will say. You have a stage made of Saranagati, and on that ground, something so powerful as Lila can be sustainable. Such Natavara, they are the king of dancers, but they are dancing in such a way that if you don't have a powerful foundation, the whole drama, the whole theater falls apart. So first you have to have foundation, Siddhanta foundation and Saranagati foundation. The wood of the stage is made of Saranagati, if you will. That's why the land can keep with that, can sustain such a drama. And Jiva Goswami describes that by their example, by this example of Krishna and Balaram looking so resplendent like dancers on stage, their dances and their being dedicated to having pleasure at will are implied. So that's their situation. They're having pleasure at will. Whatever they want, they are doing. That's happening. That's becoming true. Let's go to the word Gaya Mano for a while. We are almost finishing. Almost. So Gaya Mano, remember, meant at least a general meaning while singing. So we are speaking, they are depicted as dancers, as players, singers. So while singing has a deep meaning. So Gaya means to sing. So it is described that they were singing in a full range. They were not just singing as we may imagine. Because again, we hear they were singing and we have our own reference point of what does it mean to sing. And that's all. But they are described as singing like a full range of ascending and descending notes. Sometimes the Shastras described, this is mostly described with Rasa Lila, but it can be applied, extended here, why not? And sometimes they sang in an eighth note, although there are 7. That's how it's described by Kavi Karnapur and Rasa Lila. The gopis were with Krishna dancing and they were saying Sari Gama Padani and something else. An eighth note, not the next sa, but one more that wasn't known till that moment. And all Gandharvas and Kinnaras from heaven were like taking notes, like, okay, oh, that raga, we don't know that raga, and that no, what's that? No, I mean, so somehow here the gopas are also described. They are very expert in all the arts, spontaneously. Not necessarily they had to go to some school to learn how to sing and raga and alap and so on, but and they're singing aroha, baroha, no, ascending scale, descending scales, and jumping from one key to another. And yeah, Kavi Karnapur describes quite in detail all that. And Ghamak, and describes the strokes that they make in the mridanga and the different ragas that they are using. I need to say that especially Krishna and Balaram are depicted like singing in this very expert way in the circle of the gopas. And Gaya Mano, Gaya means to sing. In Mano can mean also to offer respect. Mana. What does Mahaprabhu say? Manina, mana, dena. So mana, dena means to give respect. So mana means respect, can mean respect. So here Gaya Mana means while Krishna and Balaram were singing in such a way, all the other gopas were offering respect to them. Respect in the context of their Sakhya Bhava, of course. But we're like appreciating, we're saying sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu means, in this case, like excellent, bravo, bravo, excellent. Just if you go to India and you say something nice in a class, someone will say that. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And mostly like, bravo, bravo. Very, very true. Or also sometimes Gaya Mano, Mana can mean satisfied. So Gaya Mano refers to Krishna and Balaram being satisfied with the singing of others. No, that we're praising them. Remember some verses back, we say Gita Kirti. They entered the forest while the Gopas were singing their glories, composing a spontaneous kirtan for glorifying Krishna and Balaram, depicting their. So Krishna and Balaram with Gaya Mano, they were satisfied by the songs that were composed for them. That's another meaning. Or Mana can also mean pride. So that's what we mentioned before. Krishna and Balaram became proud of their singing. We sing so nicely. So there's place for pride. This is when we get the full circle of Prakrita version of reality, with all the things that we are told to dismiss as sadhakas are ornaments in the realm of Baba. No? We will see, like in the next verse, we will see Sri Radha speaking a verse showing envy towards the flute. So we hear envy is the worst possible thing. But then we find in Golok, like there's envy, but as a sanchari bhav, something that is augmenting the main emotion. So here Gayamano can mean Krishna and Balaram are proud of their singing, and they like challenge their own friends. No? Like say, no one in the three worlds can sing like us, basically. And pointing to their friend, who are you, insignificant cowherd boys, no? Like us singing? Come, let's come and sing something. Let's see what you can sing. Of course, in the context of Sakya Bhav, no? Like friends playing, friends like fighting with each other in that type of joking Vira Rasa, if you will. Srila Jiva Goswami mentioned the Kwachit Gayamano. Sometimes they sing, but sometimes they sing. So they sometimes, Jiva Goswami said, is because sometimes they start to dance and they get so absorbed in dancing that they forget to sing. Because, I mean, they dance and sing. You can dance and sing also, but sometimes it implies considerable absorption in dancing. So you require all your absorption in that particular direction. So sometimes that happens. Sometimes they only sing, they sing and dance, or they only dance, different proportions of absorption, basically. And again, the gopis are seeing all this, and the only thing that comes to their mind is, we want to experience that. They are dancing, we want to dance with Krishna. He's singing, we want to sing with Krishna. So all this is the building up to the Rasa Lila. Try to understand all this Madhurya section that starts here mostly will reach momentum till exploding in the 5 chapters of the Rasa Lila, where Krishna is dancing and singing with the gopis for an act of Brahma and satisfying all these desires that are burning in them more and more and more and more. So they are describing all these verses. Again, they are appreciating, as we will see now, the fortune of the gopas, while hankering in their own bhava to have that opportunity themselves, when we will be able to dance and sing and joke with Krishna and run in the forest like he's, and all those same things, but of course in the Madhurya bhav dynamics. Sanatan Goswami also connects sometimes the idea of dancing, of singing, Gayamano, with the playing of the flute. So Sanatan Goswami said, when here to say that they were singing very incredibly, so that's another way of, because remember, we are speaking about Venu-gita, so the flute is somehow always there. Sanatan said, when actually here to say they were singing, it refers to the playing of the flute, which is a form of singing. I mean, it's the closest thing to singing without any instrument, the closest like minimum filter to express what it comes straight from flute represents that. And if you really know how to play the flute, it's like, I mean, you are singing, you are speaking, you are doing everything through that little piece of bamboo. Let me share something that Gopal Shampu says, Srila Jiva Goswami. He says, while glancing at Balaram, Krishna then began improvising on his flute. In this connection, that the singing means playing the flute. So while glancing at Balaram, try to imagine the situation. Krishna then began improvising on his flute with amazing skill. Again, it's not that they are reading some script. Okay, I have to play this drag, and now it's just like creating ragas, creating notes, creating on the spot. Kalanidhi, one name of Krishna. Kalanidhi means he's an ocean of arts. Nidhi means ocean and Kala means arts. So Krishna, that's one of the innumerable names of Krishna, ocean of arts, totally skillful. So Krishna then began improvising on his flute. He began singing on his flute with tremendous skill, increasing the beauty of the music at every moment. Oh, try to imagine something that is being played and becomes more and beautiful and more beautiful and more. And at one point you say, when will this finish? But it's never finishing, and it's increasing its beauty. On the pretext of playing for only Balaram. So Krishna is doing all that as a personal offering, again, on the pretext, in the sense, remember, all this is converging in the ears of the gopis in the village. All of them are receiving, oh, he's sending this message. No? But he's using Balaram, using in the good sense of the term, Balaram again, to assist him as a bridge in his Madhurya experience. So he was playing for Balaram apparently, but all the gopis in the village became totally like captured by that sound, like feeling, this is for us. So the point is, all these qualities that are mentioned in this verse, if you go one by one through them, all of them are exceedingly more attractive to the gopis in the distance. No? Like the different ornaments, like what Krishna is doing, like he's entering the forest, like he's playing, he's dancing, he's playing the flute. Like it's like a crescendo of attraction that they are having this grid. We want to be there. We want that. So each one of the attributes is growing exponentially in this direction. So let's finish with one more point, which is based on something that Sridhar Swami says in his commentary. And he says that the gist of this verse, basically, of the gopis, is that the gopis through these verses are saying, how amazing is the cowherd's punya. No? Punya means like good fortune, basically, in this case. So what is the good fortune of the gopas? Sridhar Swami shares that perspective of the verse. No? They have such a good fortune, Krita punya punja, basically. So let me read one section in that connection, where the gopis are speaking among themselves about the good fortune of the gopas. We already shared some of these ideas. No? Remember that they prayed for being born as gopas, and in Gaur Lila they will be able to be some boys there and join Krishna Mahaprabhu every day, all day. So one Saki said to the other, oh Saki, the only lucky ones in Braj are the cowherd boys. It's another way of saying we are the only unfortunate ones. But the only lucky ones in Braj are the cowherd boys. Whether at home or in the forest, they are always with Krishna, enjoying with him in so many ways. They get to see him all the time, dance and sing with him. Again, in all this, they are just saying, we want that, we want that. And always touch his beautiful body. No, remember the cowherds are always playing, I will touch Krishna first. No, I will touch Krishna first. And all these games, they imply the sense of touching among others. So the Gopsigar, I'm projecting all the same versions of the Madhurya Rasa versions of all those experiences for them. So they are having all these opportunities, but the Creator has given us birth as gopis. Again, Brahma starts to receive chastisement here, depriving us of this privilege. We are ladies, we cannot join him in that way. On top of that, we are wives from respectable families. Gopis are married, and thus we cannot see him to our heart's content. If we had been born as gopas instead of gopis, we could be with Krishna all the time and always see him. In this way, our lives will have been blessed. So again, this is the gist of the mood of the whole Venu-gita. Gopis considering themselves, we are most unfortunate. And everyone else is more fortunate than us. And we will see in every single verse, the gopis will be kind of praying, we will want to be born as cows because they have this fortune. We want to be born as the Jamuna because it has this. We want to be born as the cloud because according to who is the main character of each verse, the gopis will kind of express, oh, if we will born, and this is higher than being gopis. of course, at the same time, they are not, it's not that they are willing to abandon their bhava, the mood in which they feel for Krishna, but it's just how they are expressing that in their separation. So we will see this along the Venu-gita. And sometimes the acharyas say that a connection, the possible connection will be regarding Sukadeva Goswami, if he's being seen as someone attracted in the direction of Madhurya Bhav. Kishore may have another opinion in mind, but that's another thing. So sometimes some acharyas say that the heart of Sukadeva Goswami, when he say, for example, when he's appreciating specifically the good fortune of the Gopas, as Guru Maharaj explained these days, the verse that ends with Krita Punya Punja, which is the extraordinary previous deeds that these Gopas did for being where they are. So it is said that Sukadeva Goswami said that, but some acharyas will explain, okay, he became overwhelmed, like the Gopis are saying here. The Gopis in Gopi Bhav are saying, Krita Punja Punja, what did the Gopas say? We want to be there. So they say Sukadeva Goswami was infused with Gopi Bhav here. So he was expressing in this connection, expressing the incredible good fortune of the Gopas with great exuberance. Not like, wow, they are the topmost. Not necessarily because he wants that. That's a way of saying, like the Gopis, they're saying the Gopas are the best. It's not that they want to leave Madhurya Bhav for Sakya Bhav. The Sthayi Bhav is Sthayi Bhav. But in the context of the situation, they cannot meet Krishna. The Gopas are all day long with Krishna. They project their Madhurya Bhav in that particular dynamic. So some acharyas have said, Sukadeva Goswami has expressed, there's a place for reading in that possibility. So again, just to finish in this way, the Gopis mentioned this verse, invoking again Baladev as one of the main figures, trying to conceal their bhav. But again, their internal feelings are there. They are projecting everything towards whatever stage you put in front of them. You put the Gopas, you put, as we will see, the flute, you put anything, and they cannot but project their particular Madhurya Bhav, and the pressure cooker is starting to whistle louder and louder, and starts to become more and more apparent through their facial expressions and the eyes and the poses, and gradually more and more to what they are saying. Till now, through the words, they have been able to somehow conceal their bhav, but we will see that not for too much long. Next verse we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Another famous verse tomorrow, worthy of memorization, very nice, were spoken by Sri Radha according to the Acharyas, so we will get to a very interesting one. And the Gopis, the in-between background between this verse and the other, again, in these two last verses, the Gopis mentioned Krishna and Balaram, mentioned the Gopas, mentioned the good fortune. Indirectly, again, they didn't even mention the name of any of them, but in the next verse, Sri Radha will invoke the name Damodar, not just the pressure cooker exploded. No, like, I mean, let's be clear about this. After those verses, they will try to hide it again. That's how the dynamics of the Abhahita Bhav of the Gopis work. Like something they are not planning to explode, but it just overflows them, and they're trying to just to put everything in order so nobody hide. They try to hide. But again, here we finished with the Gopis basically implying, oh, these Gopas are so fortunate, we would like to be born as Gopas. So it is said that at that point, some Gopis will suggest that, let's be born as Gopas, because the Gopas have this fortune. They are with Krishna, I don't know, like 12 hours a day, basically half a day for sure. And Sri Radha will say, no, not as Gopas. Let's be born as the flute. Sri Radha will suggest, in madness, in total divine madness. Now, it's a particular proposal. Imagine if I tell you, would you like to be born as a flute? Let's see what we can. So Radha will say, let's be born as a flute. Because Gopas are 12 hours a day, that's a nice standard, but flute is 24/7. And we want that. We want the fullest possible. So let's find out what the flute did in his past life, what austerities did, which type of punya acquired to be where it is, in the lips of Damodar all day long. The Gopis want that Adaramrita, the nectar of the lips, remember. So the gopis are thinking this. Let's find what the flute did so we can do the same ourselves, and we can attain such an extraordinary and permanent position next to Krishna's lips. So that will be the next verse. Tomorrow we will see. But today we stop here. Shri Shri Devji Gopal ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Venu-gita ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Gaur Praman. Vanchakalpatarubhishya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Hari Bo. Vande Nanda Brajasrinam Padarenu Nabhikshna Sayasam Harikatudgitam Punati Bhuvanatri.